The painting you see behind me, Applicants for Admission to a Casual Ward, painted in 1874 by Sir Luke Fildes, shows a very interesting thing. There is a soldier begging from people who have nothing, totally excluded, socially disabled, as well as being disabled. The poem you're about to hear, the last of the Light Brigade, is about veterans of the Crimean War. It is a damning exposure of the hardship they faced in old age, when the country had either forgotten about their sacrifice or no longer cared. Tennyson, in his earlier, more famous poem, The Charge of the Light Brigade, had hailed them as heroes. 40 years later, the few that were left were hungry and homeless. A nationwide collection to help them, among 30 million people, raised less than £25. Today, things couldn't be more different. In Britain, there are thousands of charities and military organisations catering for veterans' needs. Yet many people still believe that nothing is done for those who leave the armed forces and that prospects for veterans are gloomy. This film was made by ex-servicemen who have all been homeless or experienced post-discharge difficulties and overcome them. The men delivering Kipling's lines today do so in acknowledgement of what organisations like Veterans Aid have achieved. They took part in the film to remind other veterans that there is always hope and there is always help. And also because it was a lot of fun.
There were 30 million English who talked of England's might. There were 20 broken troopers who lacked a bed for the night.
They had neither food nor money, they had neither service nor trade. They were only shiftless soldiers, the last of the Light Brigade.
They felt that life was fleeting, and they knew not that art was long. That though they were dying of famine, they lived in deathless song.
They asked for a little money to keep the wolf from the door.
And the 30 million English sent £20 and 4.
They laid their heads together that were scarred and lined and grey.
Keen were the Russian sabres, but one was keener than they, and an old troop sergeant muttered,
"Let's go to the man who writes the things on balaclava. The kiddies at school recites."
They went without bands or colours, a regiment 10 file strong.
To look for the master singer who'd crown him all in his song.
And waiting his servants' orders, by the garden gate they stayed. A desolate little cluster, the last of the Light Brigade.
They strove to stand to attention, to straighten the toil bowed back.
They drilled on an empty stomach, and the loose-knit files fell slack.
With stooping of weary shoulders, in garments tattered and frayed, they shambled into his presence, the last of the Light Brigade.
The old troop sergeant was spokesman. "And begging your pardon," he said, "you wrote of the Light Brigade, sir. Here's all that isn't dead."
And it's all come true, what you wrote, sir, regarding the mouth of hell. For we're all of us nigh to the workhouse, and we thought we'd call and tell.
"No, thank you. We don't want food, sir. But couldn't you take and write?"
A sort of to be continued
and see the next page of the fight.
We think that someone has blundered, and couldn't you tell them how?
You wrote we were heroes once, sir. Please, write we're starving now.
And the poor little army departed, limping and lean and forlorn, and the heart of the master singer grew caught with the scorn of scorn.
And he wrote for them wonderful verses that swept the land like flame.
Till the fatted souls of the English were scourged with the thing called shame.
O 30 million English, that babble of England's might, behold there are 20 heroes who lack their food tonight. Our children's children are lisping to honour the charge they made, and we lead to the streets and the workhouse the charge of the Light Brigade.
Mm.